Now to an India Today world exclusive. India Today's editorial director publishing Raj Chengappa spoke to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on issues ranging from ties between the two countries to tackling terror and his love for Indian food. Watch this, world exclusive, only on India Today.
Prime Minister, shalom and welcome to India.
Thank you, Namaste. This is a dream come true.
You met Prime Minister Modi as soon as he landed. He gave you such a warm hug. And you gave him a hug also when he landed in Tel Aviv. What is the special relationship that both of you all have?
I think, first of all, there is a special relationship between the countries. There is a special relationship between the people. And there is a special relationship between leaders. I respect Prime Minister Modi as a great leader. I see in him a kindred spirit because he's impatient to bring the future to his people and to change the world. And in many ways, I think that our partnership can do a lot of things. I just said to the foreign minister that the partnership between Israel and India is a marriage made in heaven, but consecrated on earth. I think this visit will help consecrate it.
But Prime Minister, when you were in Tel Aviv, you had said that the sky is not the limit.
Correct.
There are some dark clouds that have emerged, particularly after India voted against the UN resolution to recognize Jerusalem. How has that impacted our relations? Are you disappointed?
Well, look, I don't think one vote affects the general trend, and you can see it in many other votes and in everything, in the visits that we have here. Yes, naturally we're disappointed, but I think this visit is a testament to the fact that our relationship is moving on so many fronts forward, and not only in the political sense or the technological sense or security matters or tourism or whatever. It's on the level of the individual citizen. The fact that you can grow your crops better, that you can have better water, better energy, cleaner air. These are things that make a difference for the lives of people. And I think our cooperation advances that. And I think ultimately you'll see that reflected in all the UN votes, not just now, but soon.
What are the big things you hope to do on this visit to achieve?
Tighten the cooperation in various technological areas, especially agriculture, but also in all the other areas that are changing the world, in satellites and drones, drones for agriculture. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine? I mean, this is what Israel can do for the Indian farmer. You put a drone in the sky, you have big data information, and you photograph the field, and then you direct the water to the level of the individual plant. You can produce more crops for less water, less energy. This is life-changing. This is an example of one area that I intend to concentrate, but there will be many others. It's using technology to change not only the future, but to change the lives today, to make people healthier, safer, better nourished, live longer, better lives.
One of the areas that India and Israel have great congruence is on counterterrorism. And you're bringing Moshe Holzberg. It's going to be a very, very emotional moment for him when he lands in Mumbai. What is, and you know that his killers still roam free, including Hafiz Saeed. How can Israel help India and the world to book the culprits?
In this and in any other case in terrorism, the key is intelligence. Because you can't be everywhere all the time. So the key is intelligence, and Israel has, on the whole, superb intelligence, probably better than, none is better, I would say, than our intelligence services. And we share with you our intelligence, and we've stopped, over the last few years, some 30 major terrorist attacks that we've shared, not vis-a-vis India alone, but dozens of countries. We've shared with them this vital intelligence. We ultimately will catch up with the killers, but the important thing is also to prevent future killings. And Israel protects the lives of so many people. When you board a plane, you want to know that that plane will not be blown up in midair, that will take off and land safely. When that happens, usually Israel has something to do with it. Not on every flight, but on many flights.
You and Prime Minister Modi had talked of strong measures. Would that include something like surgical strikes to approve what India did?
Well, I let India make its own choices, but I think the doctrine of fighting terrorism is one, have intelligence so you can preempt it, and second, take action against the killers. Try not to take action against innocent people, and that is something that's not always so easy to do, but these are the two principles. You fight terrorism by fighting it. You fight the terrorists.
And you approve of course, what India did in all the surgical strikes.
I'm trying to be the foreign minister. I'm trying to be a diplomat because I hold two portfolios. I'm prime minister and foreign minister at the same time.
There's another area that we are concerned about, and Israel shares a very good rapport with China. And China has been blocking an Indian resolution in the UN to blacklist Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar. Would Israel use its good offices to persuade China to lift the block so that that resolution can go through?
I think these things are best discussed not over television, especially if you want to make progress.
Well, we'll leave it at that. But there's another area that has recently, when we talked of dark clouds, just before you came, India cancelled that major defense deal on the Spikeman, the anti-tank missile. Has that impacted our defense relationships?
I hope that this visit can help resolve this issue. So, because I think there's a reasonable chance that we can achieve an equitable resolution. That too, we'll have to await the end of this visit. But our defense relationship is quite significant and encompasses many things. I think the key word is defense. We want to defend ourselves. We are not aggressive nations, but we're very committed to making sure that no one can commit aggression against either one of us.
And you have such a large business delegation come with you, one of the largest we've seen from Israel. How can we move India's and Israel's relations beyond diamonds and defense?
By having free trade agreement, I would say that, or moving up towards that direction. Israel's changing so rapidly. We're creating industries out of thin air. You have a very well-known car industry here with some exceptional people who have been leading it. But imagine that we have just created a car industry in the last 5 years with countries that have been sold to Google for $15 billion, or Waze. I don't know if you use Waze satellites in guidance direction systems in your cars. That's an Israeli company too. Now, we have 500 startups that just deal with automotive technology, autonomous vehicles. This is changing so rapidly because cars are going to be, 85% of the car is going to be software and 15% is hardware. It's basically a computer on wheels. And this is where Israel produces now a car industry that receives billions of dollars of investments every year. Why shouldn't we have this partnership between us and Indian car manufacturers? And this happens everywhere: digital health, water, agriculture, energy, health, transportation, every single area, IT obviously. And that's before you discuss security. There's just a whole world that is erupting, exploding, and we are seizing the future. The future belongs to those who innovate. Israel is an innovation nation. India has great innovation. In Silicon Valley, I always said there are two dialects that you hear. You hear Hindu dialects and you hear Hebrew. Sometimes you hear a little English too. So I think that this visit will help secure this partnership, which is so natural, and so promising.
You had used a phrase when in Tel Aviv, where you talked of the I2 and T2.
Right.
Indian talent, Israel technology for tomorrow.
Right.
India and Israel have also signed technological agreements. What do you need to do to spur this faster? What's the progress on this?
It's getting through, slicing through the bureaucracy. We're going to slice. That's basically it. Look, we're all suffering from this malaise, this disease of bureaucracy. And I chair a ministerial committee that meets every few weeks, and I take a machete and I hack through the vines, the wild vines of bureaucracy. And we've moved in the competitive index. Israel has moved in the last 2 years. So I've started doing this from number 27 in the world to number 16. So I hope that on this visit, I don't want to tackle all of Indian bureaucracy. I just want to hack a path in the bureaucratic jungle that afflicts both of us, to allow Israeli entrepreneurs to come to India, do business with India for the benefit of the people of India.
Among the things that you are in the 6-day visit that is there's going to be a lot of Indian food. Is there anything special that you like about Indian food? You're traveling right across to Gujarat, to Mumbai. What is it that you like about Indian food?
Chicken tikka masala, that's it. I love it.
That's your favorite.
That's it. I know I love Indian food, and I said that I think on the first date I took my wife out, I took her to an Indian restaurant. It belongs to Reena Pushkarna. And Reena came on this delegation now. Several, 2.5 decades later, she's here on this visit to India, and I promised her when we visit her periodically over the year, Reena, when I go to India, you who came from India, you'll come back with us to be there at this great.
So you're looking forward to eating some chicken masala?
Absolutely.
And the other thing is that given that Prime Minister Modi has championed yoga, and there's even an international day, the UN observes that. Do you really do yoga? What is it? And you've been in the army. You look fit still.
Well, I didn't do yoga, but I've begun to. I said I wake up in the morning and I look to the right, like this. And when I look east, I see the first democracy I see is India. And I think when Mr. Modi wakes up in the morning, does a yoga exercise, looks left, the first democracy he sees is Israel. This is a grand partnership. And something else, Prime Minister Modi was very, very kind to come and accept me, to receive me and my wife at the airport. Then we drove into town and named a square where a commemoration for fallen Indian soldiers, named it for Haifa.
Yes.
Haifa is one of the cities that was liberated by Indian soldiers. That is, it's a city in Israel that was freed by Indian soldiers who fell there, and the Indian commander fell in battle. So it was very moving. I was there, it was just such an expression of gratitude. It's almost a closing of a circle, 100 years later. And what a circle this is. What a grand meeting of our two great peoples and our two great civilizations. We're two of the oldest civilizations on earth. There's a small difference in numbers, but I say that between us, the two of us, we count for 1.3 billion people. That's a lot.
Prime Minister, thank you so much for the time you've taken.
We
wish you all the best on your trip ahead.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
After the grand welcome by Prime Minister Modi, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met Foreign Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. Both leaders had a warm and engaging conversation where Netanyahu said he was moved by Prime Minister's airport reception, setting aside the protocol. He even recalled Prime Minister Modi's Israel visit, calling it a great moment in bilateral relations. Prime Minister Modi even hosted a private dinner for the Israeli Prime Minister and his wife at his residence. Let's take a look at day one of Israeli Prime Minister's visit to India.
Hugs, handshakes and optics. Modi Bibi Bonhomie in full show. Prime Minister Modi broke protocol to receive his Israeli counterpart and his wife Sarah at Delhi airport, rolling out the red carpet for the visiting Israeli Prime Minister. After the grand welcome, Prime Minister Netanyahu and Prime Minister Modi immediately headed to Teen Murti Memorial to pay homage to Indian martyrs. They honored Indian soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice during the Battle of Haifa over a century ago. Ahead of the ceremony, Delhi's Teen Murti Chowk was formally renamed as Teen Murti Haifa Chowk. Netanyahu and wife Sarah paid tribute to the Indian Jawans who freed the city of Haifa during World War I in 1918.
It's a win-win kind of visit because I'm sure that we will see a lot of cooperations and MOU signed between the two countries, in addition to the fact that so many businessmen are accompanying Prime Minister Netanyahu in his visit, and this could actually result in additional cooperations on the business sector.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is on a 6-day visit to India. Along with him is a 130-member delegation from 102 Israeli companies. While special focus is on trade, the two nations are expected to sign a series of key deals on agriculture, cybersecurity and science.
Well, this visit is going to give a fresh boost to India-Israel trade ties. A lot of emphasis on getting more business between both the countries, on making the economy of both the countries robust and draw from each other. Israel to invest $68.6 million to boost ties with India. He will also be going to Mumbai for the second India-Israel CEOs Forum that will be held in the financial capital of India, Mumbai. Also, innovation tops the agenda. And of course, India and Israel have very close ties as when it comes to defense deal. Counter-terror and cyber-security deals are also likely to be signed.
Netanyahu's visit marks 25 years of the establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Israel. The Israeli Prime Minister's visit to India is only the second one by any Israeli Prime Minister and comes after a gap of 15 years. Former Prime Minister Ariel Sharon visited India in 2003. This crucial visit comes less than a month after New Delhi voted in the UN General Assembly against US President Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. With Geeta Mohan and Kamaljeet Sandhu in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Within hours of Prime Minister Modi's warm welcome to his Israeli counterpart to Delhi, complete with a hug. His hug diplomacy has set off a political slugfest, becoming a butt of Congress's memes.
The trademark Modi hug, a warm handshake, and a celebratory gesture with both leaders clasping their hands to raise it in unison. Prime Minister Modi left no stone unturned to make his friend and Israeli counterpart Netanyahu feel right at home. Taking a leaf out of Netanyahu's book, Modi set aside protocol to personally greet his friend at the airport, sealing it with a bear hug as a gesture of welcome. But it was Modi's warm hug that raised the political heat. Congress quickly dubbed Modi's personal touch to diplomacy as hugplomacy.
Prime Minister's job is not foreign policy. For the Prime Minister is to provide leadership. And he has not provided leadership. It has borne no results.
Expectedly, Congress's meme on Modi's awkward hugs didn't go down well with the BJP.
ये कांग्रेस की मानसिकता, संकीर्ण सोच और उससे भी ज्यादा कि एक immaturity.
This is not the first time Modi's hug diplomacy has been mocked by the grand old party. Rahul Gandhi was quick to capitalize on US President Trump's tweet praising Pakistan, claiming that Modi's hug diplomacy had failed.
India had voted against one of its closest friends while voting in favor of Arab nations, against Trump's Jerusalem as Israel's capital push. While both the nation now look forward to put that incident behind, was the Congress attack just unwarranted? Reporting from New Delhi with Pradeep Kumar, I am Monindo Banerjee for India Today.
With that, it's a wrap on this bulletin, but for the latest, most accurate news updates from India and around the globe, log into the India Today website. That is indiatoday.in. You can also download our app, India Today app, to stay connected.
You are watching.
Thanks
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.